It's time for Living Your Purpose, a motivational and inspirational podcast with Peter and Joyce Nielsen.
Welcome to Living Your Purpose. I'm Peter Nielsen. I'm here with my lovely wife, Joyce. And, here we're going into a new season. And I don't know about you, but, I love fitness, but the winters are hard. But I will say this, hard bodies are made in the winter. And that's what we want to talk about today because so many people, they get stuck. I mean, almost 3/4 of the country get into this deep freeze. And I know you're this Floridian baby that wants to be on the beach in 80 degrees.
I am a Floridian at heart and I'm working my way there. So currently I do struggle in the fall and winter. I feel all of you out there, you have finally this great summer body, or hopefully we made those goals, and if not, you can do it next year. Then you don't want to lose them, and it's dark by 6, you get off of work, it's dark, you wake up, it's dark. And I hibernate like a bear. I want to go to bed at like 9 o'clock. So it's, and a lot of people get that sad, seasonal depression. So
well, let's talk about the darkness. I mean, when it gets, put it this way, in Michigan, because we're closer to, like, say, Chicago Central Time, we get almost an hour extra light in Detroit than my mom does in, say, New York City. And it's just the way that is. We are closer to Central Time by literally driving, like, say, 2.5 hours. We would be in Central Time. So we're used to it being dusk at 9:45 at night, in June. And then that, June 21st is where we go into summer, and that is the longest day of sunlight. Then we start every day after June 21st, we start losing 30 seconds of sunlight. I used to tell this to my kids and they were like, Dad, it's so depressing. It's like, we're just getting out of school and you're saying that we're going backwards. And then December 21st, which is a few months away, is the shortest day. So you're getting up, we're getting up to take the kids to school in the dark, and we're driving home in the dark. And it is, even for someone like me that's so optimistic, it kind of, I feel like Groundhog's Day, if you ever seen that movie, where it's like the same thing every day, and that grayness wears on you. And I always say
the cold.
Right, and it's cold. Now that we're visually doing our podcast, with video for YouTube and stuff, obviously, Joyce is beautiful from the inside out, but you love to wear nice clothes and you love to be outside, in the sun, bathing and swimming and being on the boat. So I think that the mindset needs to change, and we need to set ourselves up for success, or we are going to go sideways for the winter. Because think about it, there's recipes that almost, it's like the perfect storm. It starts getting, dark, in September, October, and then all of a sudden you start going into the holidays. And you start...
comfort food, all the good unhealthy stuff.
So you're eating more, you're exercising less outdoors, you're drinking more alcohol because of all the parties with Thanksgiving and New Year's, and the average person will gain 1 to 7 pounds between Thanksgiving and, say, the 15th of January. And I don't want any of you to be a statistic. I want to give you some applications and some news you could use, some Peter's principles, so to say, throughout this show. So, and again, for someone that's maybe just tuning in, the reason why we're doing this, it's all about living with purpose. And when you are in that sweet spot of truly getting up and prioritizing, know your reasons why, your life is going to open up. And last week we did a wonderful show on change. If you're not changing, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're dead on arrival. You just don't know it. So get off of the sidelines, get back in the game, and let's strategize something let's get ahead of this. Because when you see people that are built, or when you see trim men or women in bikinis or on the beach in shorts, and you're like, oh my golly, I still have my winter coat on, literally and figuratively, and it's May.
Right.
It's hard to catch up. You're the dog chasing the car to get in shape. The dog never catches the car.
No, but our dog does ride bikes with us. We have a Neo Great Day, and he literally will run as we're riding bikes. So
yeah, he does.
You can incorporate the whole family.
His name is Samson, and one day, without him ruining our recording studio, we'll bring him so that you can see him. But he'll end up trashing the trophies and stuff in here. But we're just glad that you're here. And it really is so important. And I just need to say this and be real. I think that I get through the winter and I meditate, I pray, I try to break through the grayness. There's weeks that go by, weeks in Michigan that you don't see sunlight. Literally, like weeks, sometimes a month, that all you see is grayness, snow flurries. 20 degrees outside.
You have to be your own light.
Right. Amen, 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 amen. But you, on the other hand, you're so sensitive. She's the salt of the earth. She's got an amazing soul. But you do have a hard time in the wintertime.
Yeah.
I mean, explain.
I kind of get, I can find myself in a funk, and I have less energy. I hate being cold. So sometimes I'll try and use that as my excuse to not do a lot of activities. And thankfully, we bring out the best in each other. And so he's, like last year we went sledding, and this year we're going to do snowshoeing. But even transitioning, so I got him out on paddle boards this year, and he's got me out in like the kayaks, or do big leaf piles, and that is crazy exercise. Or even just hikes and walks in the park, with the family.
It's
and
so
a new
important.
Dog, and layers and reflectors.
Yeah.
So
it's so important to you have two choices in the wintertime. And I did a show on like winter fitness in one of the Peters Principles syndicated shows, and I was like, you can either fight the winter, stay inside, become a couch potato, and literally wear that winter coat in the summer, literally and figuratively, or you could become part of the environment, and you could embrace and maybe do something you've never done before. Doing my TV show throughout the last couple of decades, I do things that I feel that the viewers, you are going to be interested in. And guess what? Sometimes I fall in love with new activities that I've never tried. So cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, you could be in like 4-foot drifts of snow and you're on top of it prancing.
Yeah. Last week we went to an adventure park.
Oh my golly, that was so cool.
And it was really cool. It was, climbing all these obstacles through the trees and zip lining, and it was like a whole family activity. And we're definitely going back to do our own date night activity.
Thing, and you can't go back. Tell them you can't go back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we took our kids.
Once you're up there, you literally cannot climb down the tree.
We took our kids, and to protect the guilty, I won't mention any names. But one of our children was hugging onto a tree, like 25 feet up, saying, "Mom, I can't do this. I can't." And she's on the other side of the line. And the beautiful thing is even our children grew from that experience. Yeah. There was a breakthrough.
Yeah, we talked them through
facing
their fear.
Their fear. I mean, there was such a breakthrough. So when you're going into this new season called fall, let's truly just think of ways, and I would love to give you some ways that you can stay healthy and understand something. Calorie in, calorie out. You eat something, then you hopefully work out, you expend it. So if, say, you're living on 1,500 calories a day and you're biking like I do and you do 4 to 5 times a week, and we're doing it for maybe just a half an hour, riding 6 miles a day, we're burning a lot of calories, a few hundred calories during that expedition. If we stop doing that and you take even, say, 300-400 calories and you multiply that by 7, you're almost at 1 fat pound. 3,500 calories equal 1 fat pound. So it's not, it doesn't take a rocket scientist.
I learned that the hard way.
Right.
Even though you're eating good, if you're still eating the same amount
as you were when you were exercising,
you're
going to wear it. But trust me, she's never looked bad. I mean, she's got an amazing physique and an amazing heart. But I think one of the first applications is you need to have a blueprint, have a game plan, and know how many calories you need to maintain, or if you want to be in a deficit to facilitate lose excess body fat. But in the winter and in the fall, if you're doing things outside, you're swimming outside, or you're running, or you're biking, you're playing basketball, tennis, all outside, horseback riding, walking your dog outside, all these things add up. So if you stop doing half of them or all of them, then you need to change one of two things. You need to find creative ways indoors, or you need to change calorically the amount of calories so that you're not going to accumulate excess body fat.
Or what he's influencing me to do, bundle up extra more and get your butt outside.
Right. She really, when I say there's some defiance here, she does not like the cold.
Yeah.
And, I don't like the cold either. Having an autoimmune condition called Crohn's, there's no cure for it. I have, there's a form of rheumatoid arthritis that when it gets cold or something, I get the shakes and I start aching.
And you have to be careful if you're doing outdoor maintenance as your exercise, like raking leaves or even the
We
snow
both love
blower.
to be in the nature.
My poor husband here was snowblowing last year and suffered an injury that is still healing.
Yep.
So
if you remember that snow, anybody that was in the Midwest, we didn't get a lot of snow, but we got a lot of ice storms and wet snow. So I go out there with this snow blower on steroids, and we have like 2.5 acres, long driveway. I'm like, I'm going to conquer this. And it got clogged up. The snow couldn't even get out of the blower because it was basically ice. So it weighs about 650 pounds, and I'm trying to jar it out of the snow. I actually microscopically tore a tendon underneath my knee in my hamstring, and never injured myself working out. And here I'm just doing a chore. So I agree with you. You need to warm up. You need to make sure you dress in layers. No drinking alcohol. A lot of times people will say, I'm going to do a shot. I'm going to have some, I'm going to have something to get my chest warm. Actually, alcohol will further increase the risk of hyperthermia. So in your mind, you may think you're warm, but your blood sugar levels, your blood pressure, everything, bets are off. It will dehydrate you. It's not the thing to do. Also, make sure you wear a hat, gloves, and a good pair of socks and dry boots so that you're not in misery. We were dressed great when we were sledding down, I think it's called Dead Man's Hill.
Yeah, it's actually sledding.
Right.
With pretty calories.
And going down almost a mile or more, with the kids and you. Walking up, I was sucking wind because you got all these heavy clothes on and layers, and you got these snow boots on, and you're walking up at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
The next day, my legs were sore. So what we're trying to say is that if you're exercising outdoors, maybe now it's time to think about a recumbent bicycle or a treadmill or picking up even jumping rope indoors, doing jumping jacks. But if you're burning X amount of calories during the week outdoors and you're not doing anything during the winter months indoors, you will not have that hard body. You will be miserable looking at yourself in the mirror come spring.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you guys some of the things, because not all of us love to go to the gym or have a gym membership. So there's a lot of things that you could do at home that doesn't require even the fancy equipment.
Right.
And I'm actually so sore today. I had a hard time coming down the stairs, and all I did yesterday, I worked out yesterday inside, and we did, he had me do 3 sets of like walking lunges in the house, and then immediately superset it with doing like plies. And my feet were centered like this way first, and then that way, and then close together.
Yeah,
and it
3
was
different positions. So she's working her inner thigh.
Or I'm saying that like you guys listening can see which way I'm pointing my hands, but forward with your feet close together, and then a 3/4 angle with them wide, and then straight with them wide.
And 20 repetitions. And just for people that are watching or listening around the world, a superset is combining 2 exercises back to back with little to no rest. So you pre-exhaust the muscle. You don't have to work out heavy, and it really burns calories, increases your VO2 max, the ability to absorb enriched oxygen in the blood, and it increases your endurance.
Yeah. And hand weights are great. You can pick those up anywhere, Target, Amazon, Dunham's, and or push-ups. I mean, there's so many indoor activity. We should make a video that shows just a quick like.
Actually, we're filming tomorrow.
We are filming.
We're filming tomorrow for TV and social media, and we will talk about that and do that. I just love the life that we have, and if I could say this, you create what you speak. You create what you think. So, I was telling her up in the kitchen before we came down here. It's like, I love my life, and I'm not just saying it to say it. I chose what I wanted to do. People thought I was 10 cents short of a quarter. My own dad would, I remember overhearing him, when I was growing up, and he was saying to a bunch of guys, why is my son wanting to get in Speedos and put baby oil on his body and pose in front of 5,000 people? My dad thought I was like totally in left field. And I had a dream, and I believe with all my heart, with my faith, that God implants those dreams into our heart. And if we speak life into ourselves, if we champion our own life, then we could do anything. So it's not by chance or coincidence that I'm doing what I love. Even waiting, 18 years to get remarried. I was divorced and was single for, almost 2 decades. But I literally had a vision. God made a promise to me, and he outdid my vision by bringing Joyce to me. You could do that in any area of your life, but it starts and it ends with you. So let's just continue the thought process on visualize how you want to look come April. You got to put in the sweat equity, and you got to do things that probably you've never done before. And some of you have not.
Even when you don't want to.
Right.
We were riding bikes and it was sprinkling, and I'm like, honey, it's going to sprinkle. Let's make it a short one. And of course, when I was training for Mr. America, I was running in the rain, and it would be 4 a.m. Like, you're right.
You know why?
Because not bad enough, you're going to do it. Mind over matter and be consistent.
Right. And then, even just that, I remember it was like hailing out, and it was like 4 a.m. or 3:30 in the morning. I just felt like I always had one step above everyone else. Everyone was sleeping, and I was getting the hardest part of my day done. And then I was going to my health clubs and my physical therapy businesses dressed up and stuff. But the rain just almost motivated me more. Excuse my expression. It pissed me off. Like, I have to deal with this. This is not going to stop me. and I kept speaking life into myself. And I kept on, saying, if I don't, there was one time it was raining sideways. I was in a blizzard another time. And it was like what was going through my mindset was, if I don't make and finish this run, I'm not going to win Mr. Universe, or I'm not going to win Mr. America. And there wasn't one time, there was even times, weeks right before the competition, that I had a cold or a chest cold. And what I recommend anybody is always talk with your doctor, work out 25% less. But I was so me against me. You're competing with yourself. So I want to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday. And we're all aging, and it's sometimes challenging and difficult. So here we are, we're going into more darkness, more parties, more celebrations, holidays. Holidays sometimes create depression. Let's be honest. We love our family, but sometimes our family, we got them up to here. And I love my family, I love your family, I love our family. There's a but. And the but is, you don't need to medicate yourself with more alcohol, more cheesecake, or isolate yourself, because when you do any of those things, it doesn't work out. When you isolate yourself, it creates depression, and sometimes it creates you to get into an addiction. And isolation is the complete opposite of people together creating unity and light and love.
It's so important to stay connected, and you can make it fun by welcoming the seasons that are coming upon us. And I know, like, for the fall, September and October, and even November, we like to take the family to like the apple orchards, or pumpkin picking, corn mazes, or
we're going to do all of
bike rides, hikes. The leaves are so beautiful when they're changing. You can actually get a little bit of meditation and peace of mind while you're doing your exercise. You can bring your dog, get a little sweater if you need to.
I'm going to have her watch this when she tells me I don't want to go out in the cold, because you're giving great advice. But
Shoot myself in the foot.
I'm going to call you to the mat. But one of the things I love about Joyce is that once she finishes it, she'll always acknowledge and say, Peter, I feel great.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I worked out. I'm sorry that I was a little bit edgy, but thank you. Right?
If you can have a partner that helps you stay accountable, it moves you along so much further. Because sometimes I am as resistant can be. I can be very difficult. But we always get through it, and then I always thank them after. And whether it's that or even just like the healthy eating.
Oh my God.
It's fun. There's new things that are in season.
Spaghetti squash.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Or, zucchini.
Yeah.
I love adding that too.
Or fall vegetables are so healthy.
Brussels sprouts.
She makes Brussels sprouts with sriracha and agave and cayenne pepper, and it's amazing. You make kale chips.
Kale chips are delicious, and they're a great go-to instead of potato chips, which are so easy to
put on fat and to love and eat the whole bag.
Yeah.
So even what she's saying about nutrition,
protein powder on your oatmeal, like that's a warm comfort food instead of getting,
agreed.
Yeah.
And like we're talking about, nutrition is 60 to 70% on how you look and how you feel. So here we're going into a difficult season for many people in the country, and if you set yourself up to succeed with healthier foods, if you meal prep, you're going to be 50%, 60% ahead of the game, because the exercise to me is the easy part. Some people, the exercise is like root canal. But to be disciplined at the breakfast, lunch, and dinner table, to watch your macronutrients, how much protein, the building block to muscle, essential fatty acids, carbohydrates. You have too much starchy carbohydrates, you're going to blow up like a balloon. So a lot of the things that Joyce is saying, and Will, if you can find us on social media under Peter and Nielsen, also on our YouTube channel, Peter Nielsen, Peter's Principles, you'll find recipes and cooking that Joyce and I do that are Brussels sprouts, that are different things that we've done together.
Yeah, and meal prepping is so,
oh my golly,
so very important because it helps with portion control, and then it helps with when you get those cravings. A lot of the times you'll go a whole day and realize you're not eating, and then you're like ferociously hungry, and you'll just grab something and stuff it in your face. So if you have something that's already pre-made, all you have to do is heat it up, or throw it in the microwave, or
I'm going to give a good example.
Purse, nuts.
On Sundays, she meal preps for a few hours, and she'll take what is it called, like a Tupperware or something, and
it has 4 containers in it.
Right, and she'll take. You can only utilize, say, 30 to 40 grams of protein within a 2.5 hour period of time. So she knows the size. She's measured it one time before. So she knows that this is, say, 32 grams of protein.
Yep.
She'll put it in one thing.
Yep.
Then she'll put some fibrous vegetables like yellow and red peppers, some sauerkraut that's got prebiotics, probiotics. And my point is that when you're the word beyond starving, when you're famished, all bets are off, even for me. If there's nothing in the refrigerator and there's old pizza from 2 days ago, I'm putting it in the microwave.
You eat pizza?
Cheeseless, but still, it's got all these carbs, and it just blows you up on the inside.
They have cauliflower crust, I believe.
They do?
Yeah.
They do? They do.
So.
And they also have vegan cheese, which has come a long way. 20 years ago, vegan cheese tasted like rubber. Now it's made amazing.
Yeah, I always keep an egg white quiche in the fridge at all times made.
That's my go-to.
That's a go-to breakfast.
Yeah.
There's a really great Mediterranean couscous salad. I think I made a video for the quiche already.
We got to do the
that
couscous.
on the YouTube.
Yeah.
I have to do the couscous.
Yeah, and the quiche. Just so you know, she puts all these vegetables, spinach, the different color peppers in there. But egg whites, if you take one egg, there's 300 milligrams of cholesterol. The American Heart Association says that's all you should have in one day. That's in one egg. It's got 6 grams of protein and 6 grams, almost 7 grams of fat. If you jaggle it, or if you buy now just the egg whites, one egg has got 0 cholesterol, 0 fat, and 3 grams of muscle building protein. So when I'm hungry, and you should be grazing, not having 3 big meals, we'll have maybe 4 to 5 small meals every, say, 2.5 to 3 hours. I do. So I go in the refrigerator and I just cut a piece of this quiche, which is all egg whites and vegetables. I'll warm it up for 30 seconds or a minute, and the next thing you know is I'm feeding the machine. You want to feed the muscle, you want to starve the fat.
Yeah.
So these are great tips to get through these terrible, disgusting winter months, but we're going to enjoy the outdoors. And we're going to be traveling more.
Yes. Maybe we'll be traveling to you guys.
Exactly. And how can people reach us? Because we want to hear from them.
Absolutely. The best way to reach us, social media, you can go to Peter and Nielsen, Facebook, Instagram, Peter's Principles on Facebook, or email us if you have some topics that you want discussed, peter@peternielsen.com. We're on YouTube now, so hopefully you're watching this. If not, and you're listening, you can click over and see the video too.
Amen to that.
And that's Peter Nielsen on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the take-home message is how bad do you want it? If you're doing the same thing, over and over again, what do they say? It's the closest thing to insanity. So if you know that winters and fall is tough for you, whether it's depression, overeating, lack of exercise, let's mix it up. Let's do something different. And I want to truly love on you. We both do. In just giving you news that you could use. And we're doing this more for you. I mean, I've been doing television and radio for a few decades, so I'm doing things that I feel led to do, not that I need to do, and make small changes. Journal your food, meal prep. When it comes to caloric needs, no. You could go to peternielsen.com. I have a macronutrient calculator. You put in your age, your gender, your weight, your height, how many days you're being active or not being active. You press a button and it comes up how many calories you should be having in a day, whether you want to maintain, facilitate, lose excess body fat, or put on more muscle. Then once you have that, now in your mind, you know if you're using an app or if you're just calculating, if you're not hitting those calories and you're not exercising and you were exercising, you're going to wear it. So if you're not exercising as much and you know your total caloric needs, then you need to modify that by maybe having, a portion size less of something. If you're going to go into a deficit of any one of the three macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, or fat, never ever not hit your quota of protein. Protein is the building block to muscle. Every cell in your body is made up of protein and nitrogen and then some. If you go into a deficit and you're working out or you're being active, you're going to go into a catabolic standpoint. You're going to feed on muscle, your basal metabolic rate, your metabolism is going to slow down. That's going to make your winter that much worse because you're going to look at yourself and say, what's going on? And it has everything to do with the numbers of calories that you're eating and you're expending.
Yeah, and so the protein, if you don't like to eat your protein and you like to drink your protein, right, you can message us for a link because he has two delicious, there's a chocolate and a vanilla. And you can add it to smoothies. I make vegetable smoothies with spinach and kale, pineapple, mango, vanilla protein powder, and blend it all together. And you kind of
it's delicious.
Yeah, you're drinking your veggies and your protein. Yeah. Another tip I think is to get the hardest thing done out of the way first in the morning. And so one of the first things we do when we get up is we get our workout done.
If I don't get her to work out. If I don't get her to work out before 10 o'clock in the morning, it's not going to happen.
Oh, well, before 3.
Right. She'll say she'll do it, but I got to get her while she's hot. I got to get her while she's fresh because she is a mom and she helps tremendously entrepreneurially with our businesses. And by the end of the day, she may not be physically whooped, but she's mentally exhausted by you take care of so many things and so many people, and we love you for it, but you're the CEO of your own body. So put yourself first when it comes to staying in shape, having more quality in your life so you could be a good mother or father. You could be a good partner at the office place. You could have energy to enjoy the people you love. I think that's probably one of the biggest, most important things. And a lot of times people will get it wrong. They'll be left with fumes and crumbs at the end of the day, and then they'll email us and say, I don't have time to work out. I'm exhausted. I got 3 jobs. I got 4 kids. I'm a single mom. Listen, if you want it bad enough, you'll get it done. If you don't, you'll make every excuse under the sun on why you didn't do it. So I just want to say thank you, everyone. And again, if you want to reach us, peternielsen.com website. If you're looking to view us on YouTube now, we're very excited that we're doing it with video as well. I mean, we're throughout the world, whether it's Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, but now we're doing it on video on YouTube, and you can easily find us at Peter Nielsen or Peter's Principles. And until next week, we want your socks to be just blessed. We want truly you to be healed. We want you to speak life into yourself. We want you to truly live the life that you're destined to live. So don't stop believing, and most importantly, don't stop dreaming. Until next week, it's Peter and Joyce Nielsen for Living Your Purpose. God bless everyone.